A few weeks ago, I got called to the front of the house, surprised to see an owl sitting up in a tree. Not 10 yards from the front door, this barred owl was minding its own business. Now, I had heard this owl a couple of nights before, but never actually seen it, let alone in the daytime right outside the house. The family scurried to find cameras and took plenty of photos. I took a ton of reference images because I knew this scene had to become a painting. Hello and welcome, my name is Jason, and today we're going to be creating this piece using gouache and acrylic. Along the way, I'll share some of my process, some stories, and some fun facts. Alright, let's get started. Since owls are nocturnal, it was surprising to see this owl around in the daytime. In most of the photos I took, the owl looked very tired, with its eyes closed, yawning occasionally. These images gave me the perfect idea. I wanted to accentuate the image of a sleepy owl even more by giving it some extra details. Of course, knowing myself, I couldn't just draw straight from the reference photo, and I had to add something more. From there, I thought up the idea of the sleepy owl with a cup of coffee and glasses on its head, as if the owl was just starting its morning before work. To add a little more action, I thought it would be fun to have the owl in the process of spilling its coffee as it falls asleep on the branch. After the sketch, I took my panel over to the easel, where I started on the background of the image. As you'll notice, I'm going in with the airbrush, coating the background with layers of diffused splotches of color. As I developed this further, I started to introduce round circles of light that resemble what photographers call bokeh. Not only to reference a photographic-like quality in my work, this effect also pushes the subject forward while creating a dreamy-like essence to the background. The quality of bokeh in photography isn't just about the blur of the background, it's more about the characteristics of the blur. When shooting with a wide aperture, the subject, like the owl, looks sharp, while the background melts into soft washes of color and soft circles that resemble the shape of the aperture. Since I'm translating the photographic quality into my painting, I'm not literally copying every leaf and twig in the background, but rather thinking about how the lens might simplify the visual information into soft shapes. Behind the owl, I'll create diffused round shapes of color that help to accentuate the subject without being too distracting. After getting the background to a place I was happy with, I carefully took off the tape and dried masking fluid I had applied previously. It took a little bit of effort to rub off all the small nooks I had painted with the masking fluid, but before long I was ready to paint the owl. I started with the face, working in a sort of patchwork pattern, building up details in one area before moving to the next. I was working from a reference here, so I was pretty much copying what I saw in the image, as I was working through the areas of the face before moving to the body. I'm painting a barred owl, one of the most recognizable owls in North America. If you live in the region and ever hear a hooting sound near dusk, this bird is most likely the culprit. Unlike most owls that have orange and yellow eyes, these birds' eyes are fully black. Their feathers are patterned with horizontal bars across their chest and vertical streaks down their belly, which is where they get their name from. This pattern makes them blend in perfectly into the forest bark, giving them excellent camouflage. Interestingly, owls' eyes are not shaped like human eyes. Actually, owls have elongated tubular eyes, which are fixed in place within the skull, resulting in the need for their iconic almost 360-degree head rotation to look around. They have a bony structure called the sclerotic ring that surrounds and supports those tubular eyes, keeping them locked in position. Owls' eyes are also enormous compared to their bodies, with some species' eyes making up almost 5% of their total body weight. The extra size allows for larger cornea and lenses, which are crucial for hunting in low-light conditions. After finishing the owl and its accessories, I moved on to the branch, following the patterns of color and texture seen in my reference image. It was important to me to really push my level of realism in this painting to make sure the scene felt believable. With that complete, there was nothing left to do except sign this piece and call it finished. I had a blast with this painting. I really liked using the airbrush to try to create that out of focus blurry background effect. and I liked pushing for that high level of realism while also maintaining a painterly effect. I really enjoyed this painting, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.